Hello, everyone. My name is Love Kher, and I'm sitting here with my friend Mr. KJ Sharma. Today, we are going to be talking about a very interesting topic. Who am I? One of the questions that comes to my mind always, because I'm unclear about it, uh, shall I say that I am a male of this year, born in this year, and I'm an engineer? And I'm a son. Is that the way I should be identifying myself? Is that what I am, or is there something else? Can you please clarify that for all of us?
Yes, thank you for your question. It's a very brilliant question, and this is a question which should be which is in everybody's mind. Actually, let us understand that everybody say I. So I becomes the common factor in every individual, and similarly, everybody uses the word my, but people fail to understand that why everybody is using the word I
Mhm.
and my. So now let me first say that we never say that I'm the body. We say that my body, right?
Yeah.
Similarly, we say my car or my house. It means I'm not the house. House is mine. Car is mine, but I'm not the car. So similarly, when we say my body, it means I'm not the body, right? Similarly, we also say my mind. It means I'm not the mind.
But when we do the introductions in any place,
I'm coming to that.
we say, I am so and so, I am an engineer.
That is what is the confusion.
Right.
The the confusion arises because what happens that I factor, which is common in every individual, that I is actually the real entity which is omnipresent everywhere, even inside the body, outside the body. And that is what? That is the Brahman.
Mhm.
That is Paramatma. That is the Param Chaitanya. The collective consciousness, which is omnipresent all over, that is what is the real entity, and that is the real I. That I is common in every individual. That is why every individual say I. But then what happens when that I from the Brahman, when the jiva that emerges from the Atma, and why what is, we should also understand Atma and Paramatma, Brahm and Atma. You see, Eko Brahmam Dvitiyo Nasti. Brahma is only one, not two. This our Veda says, Eko Brahman Dvitiyo Nasti. So Brahma is only one. So the Paramatma is only one. We call uh, we call Paramatma to the same Brahma. And when we conceive or we understand the presence of Paramatma in every individual, then we say Atma. But the periphery of the body cannot divide the super consciousness, which is Paramatma, the Atma.
Mhm.
But then what happens that when that jiva acquires the body, then because of the power of delusion, Maya, the Brahma has hid himself by its power of delusion, Maya. So then what happens that that real I, because of Maya, by the jiva, identifies itself with the body. So that I is a superimposed I combined with the body. So that I starts understanding that I'm the body. And because of that, every individual identifies itself as a separate entity because bodies are separate entities which are visible separately.
Yeah, like, men and women identify differently.
Right. Even men and women,
Yeah,
it's the body which is male or female.
right.
But intrinsically, Atma is neither a male nor a female
Correct.
because that is nothing but consciousness. This consciousness, it's like, electricity. You don't see the electricity, but you see the function of the electricity. If the electricity enters into the bulb gives light. If it enters into a fan, the fan moves. So similarly, in presence of Atma, all activities are taking place because of the consciousness. And from the same consciousness, the jiva also emerges and that acquires the body. That jiva identifies itself with the body. So that is why the the feeling or understanding of individual entity crops up at the mind level. This is the role of Maya.
Yeah. Which creates,
Yeah.
which therefore creates confusion,
Yes.
and it does not help. That is like a veil of ignorance which
Ye-
comes, and that does not help in the self identification.
Right.
So the problem, it seems like, is that we all have forgotten how to recognize, how to identify ourselves because of the veil of ignorance we have.
Yes.
So how do we get over that veil?
Yes. In order to get over that, in human embodiment, nature has given, God has given, we call God because of that super consciousness, the collective consciousness, the Brahman has given two capacity to human day. One is the mind, the other is intellect. Man and buddhi.
Mhm.
Body is just physical entity. It's a gross made out of five elements. It's a part of nature. Even nature is nothing but the expression of the same Brahman.
Mhm.
So we have to understand that this identification and understanding not at the mind level alone because of the intellect human being can analyze and understand things clearly. In case of all other creatures, they are gifted with only mind. And mind functions in five or six ways, which I have earlier we have talked about.
No.
Kam, Krodh, Mad, Lobh, Moh, and Matsarya.
Yeah.
So, and that is the seat of Maya, power of it, delusion. So the Maya, the power of delusion of Brahman is in is infused in the mind. So the mind functions only in those limited ways,
Right.
which we find in every organism, in every animals.
Right. So Sharmaji,
So your question was how can we get rid
yeah,
or how can we understand?
how do we self recognize? Yeah.
So if only at the mind level, if anybody remains like all other animals, they have the mind, they will never be able to understand who they are. They will always understand. A tiger will understand whatever, you know, at the mind level he has. But it's only the human being who are gifted with another capacity, which is called intelligence, buddhi. So because of the buddhi, that's why in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that mind is separate from the body, intellect is separate from the mind, and even Atma is separate from the intellect. So the man, buddhi, chit, and ahankar, these are the combination, these are the characteristics of the jiva. And the jiva emerges from the same atma, same consciousness. So the property of consciousness is present in mind and intellect. And this we had talked, and earlier also I had explained that as we see from the sun, infinite number, innumerous number of rays emerge, and every ray has got the same property, light and heat, like the sun has got light and heat. So similarly, when from Atma the Jiva emerges, it also has got the conscious level in that.
Yeah.
So with the intellect, buddhi, human beings are gifted to analyze and understand things. Now, in order to bring that level of the intellect, we have to feed it with knowledge. And the source of knowledge are our scriptures,
Yeah.
shastras, the rishis, the people who got enlightenment, whatever the gospels they have given, we can understand that, we can imbibe that, we can assimilate that in buddhi, in intellect. And if we have attained that level of understanding in in our intellect or with our intellect, we can understand what exactly
Who am I?
who we are.
Right.
And then we understand that, okay, we are not really body or mind and intellect.
Right.
That my source is something different, and that source is the consciousness, and that is what real I is.
Right. All right. So thank you for clarifying that confusion. Very quickly,
Yeah.
two other questions that pop up in my mind. You mentioned something about God in your previous deliberation. Can you briefly say who is God? What is God? Is it a human being? What exactly is that? Is there
Yeah.
a physical entity?
You see, actually, the only entity we should understand, Eko Brahman Dvaityo Nasti. There is nothing, there is no other existence other than the Brahman and Brahman alone. And that Brahman is nothing but the consciousness which is pervading the entire universe and beyond. Everything emerges from the same consciousness and merges back into the same consciousness. Whatever we see in the universe, the entire universe, all the objects, whatever we see, the seer is I, the Atman, the Brahman. And what we see is the manifested form of the
Is it known?
same Brahman,
Yeah.
which we know or which we see.
Right.
So both are the same, but we think that these are two different entities.
Yeah.
Actually, in reality, at the highest level of wisdom or understanding, the two forms, but these two forms, one is the manifested form as nature, at the universe, the other is the unmanifested realm, the wholesome consciousness.
Right. So, Sharmaji, what we will do, this is a very, very interesting topic. Today, I just want
No,
to expose.
But you ask God.
Yes.
So now let me explain about the God. So what happens that the human mind, because of some supernatural power, which we always feel at our body, mind, and intellect level, then we start calling that super, super power or divine entity, and we start calling as God. In different language, somebody will call God, somebody will call so and so and so and so and so.
So, Ishvara.
But or Ishvara. So basically, this is a perception about some superpower because of whom things are happening, or or because of that superpower things are being controlled or managed in in the universe. So to that entity we start calling God.
And like I said, we will come back to this topic next time.
Yeah.
Because I have lots more questions related to the time that we have
Okay.
today. So we will continue on this topic, but very quickly, another related topic I want to introduce today, and maybe we'll follow up, is now that I understand who am I and have a little bit understanding of who is God, why did I come to this planet? What is my purpose in life?
Yeah. You see, always you have to bear in mind that the real I is me, the superimposed I, which identifies itself with the body. That I is the one, is Jiva. We can also say Jivatma, which has emerged from the same Atma, and that Jivatma, is possessing the body. So, as the as a law of nature imposed by the Brahman, managed by the Maya, the the human mind start thinking that I am the doer, because any action is done driven by the mind. The thoughts emerge in the mind, and the mind gives the direction to the body. Body is a neutral. Whatever commands it receives from the mind and intellect, it does. But then, because of whatever the action is done as a law of nature, the result of every action is also there. Even in modern science, as the Newton's third law, we know that every action has reaction. So every action has the result of the actions. Then, as a law of nature, through Maya, what has happened that whatever the actions are done and the results are bound to that, it continues because the um, the superimposed I starts thinking that I am the doer. So when this thought comes to the mind that I am the doer, then we get bound by the result of that action,
Mm-hmm.
and it continues. And what happens that the all the results of the actions are not experienced in the same life, in same embodiment. Then some of it, whatever is experienced, then that is over. But some of the results of the actions are not experienced, not purified, then it gets stored. And when the jiva acquires the next embodiment, it draws something from there and comes in the next embodiment. And there you will find that some results will come even without having done any action in that life. Like, uh,
So my question is, what is my purpose of life?
no, that's what I'm coming to. So the that real purpose can be understood and can be done only when the intellectual level, the knowledge is brought to a level that one can understand that. But what I was trying to explain, that the results of our all actions are defining our course of life and actions. And we keep experiencing the results of our actions in, in present life, and something which had been stored, that is called Sanchit Kanphala, that we bring in when we acquire the next embodiment, and we experience that Kanphala as a, that is called Prarabdha, or in common language, we call it Bhagya. Like, you don't select your parents, you don't select your children, that he should be my son or she should be my daughter. So these are all because of our past life karmas and karma phala, because whatever give and take had been is still due to each other. We again come and in current embodiment, we meet with each other, we fulfill our give and take, and this keeps continuing as the law of nature. This is the way the entire universe is performing and working.
So, is my purpose in life to fulfill the previous obligations
No,
or left over from the previous life?
no. You see, we have to understand whatever is happening in this life is nothing but the result of our past life or, or our actions.
What's the sum total of actions of this life? And
Whatever is happening, something because of not of this life's action, something is also happening because of past life action. As I explained that, you do not select your parents, you do not select your children. So this is because of the past life action and give and take due to each other, we again meet in this life. So we have to understand, actually that is not the real purpose. Whatever is happening is all because of the result of your actions or our actions. The purpose of human life, all other animals' life, is nothing but, as per the law of nature, those jivatmas are in those embodiment. They just live and perform their role and drop the body and keep on going, acquiring different embodiment depending upon the different kinds of karma and karphala, results of the actions. But in human life, the purpose is to attain the ultimate knowledge in order to understand the self, the atman, that we are not the really body, mind, and intellect. We are not the real jiva. We are the atma itself. We are the Brahman itself. And from me only, from the Brahman, the atma only, this jiva has emerged. So once that understanding in jiva comes up, then that jiva attains the complete knowledge, and then it identifies itself that I'm not a separate entity. I'm I'm from the Brahman. I am from the Atma only. I am not different. I am the Atma only. So then at that stage, Jiva and Atma becomes one.
right. Thank you so much, Sharmaji, for giving all these insights to me and to the viewers. Let me just quickly wrap up and summarize key points that we talked about.
Yeah.
Number one was try to understand who am I, and you very nicely explained who am I. I'm not the physical body. I'm not a physical object or anything. I'm not a male. Yes, physically I'm a male, but there is something behind all of that. That is what I am.
Actually, the body is male and female.
Your body is male and female,
Not the conscious,
not the conscious. The true self,
who we are.
yeah, true self is the consciousness, and that consciousness doesn't have a body or any height or color or anything. It's immaterial of all of those characteristics. And then you explained about who is God. I'm not going to repeat that, but there is a follow up discussion we will have on that topic. Lastly, but not least, is the purpose of life. In a nutshell, the purpose of life is the spiritual growth to attain the knowledge, ultimate knowledge, so
About the self.
about the self, so that we can figure out that Jivatma and Atma are one, and that is what our purpose is. Until we find that, until we do that, we will be coming and going one life to another. But once we attain that knowledge, then hopefully we achieve mukti, moksha, and then we don't have a part of this life cycle of coming and going.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, there is all interesting topics. We will follow up next time because there are a lot more questions.
Yes, moksha is also another topic to understand.
Correct.
Because moksha is also misunderstood.
Right.
Anyway.
So we will definitely follow up on these topics next time. Until then, Thank you so much. I'm Love Kher, and we will talk next time.